All right, joining me now for another discussion. How many of these we've done so far? I have no idea. CA Conservative, how you doing, Cameron?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. We're gonna go state by state and see how the redistricting is gonna look like, and sort of in sort of the spirit of the recently concluded redistricting radar series on Elections Daily, which I believe began on Old Bull and then moved to Elections Daily. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
Yep. So why don't we start with Alabama? Are we looking at a what were we looking at? 6-1?
Should be. Removing the VRA district is suicide for us. The courts will tell us to go to hell instantly.
Yeah, and whenever you feel ready,
and there's little point.
You can share maps if you want. Like I've enabled you to share maps.
Do I have an Alabama map that wouldn't get me arrested?
Anyone that you want to feel
if I do.
comfortable sharing. But anyway,
here's my old.
Anyway,
I like this. This is good. This
boy.
is really the map right here.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
That's just beautiful. It's not terribly even. There should be about 1,000 less voters in that blue
I have seen worse maps of Alabama, and in a place like Alabama, a map like this kind of makes sense.
Well, it's designed to make these all even.
Yeah, I mean, like,
shouldn't
we have like more communities of interest? Like, doesn't it make sense, like, for like Birmingham and Shelby County to be in their own like red district? And
I'm not the biggest believer in communities of interest.
Okay, so I'm not gonna get any of this on your maps.
The close, I'm trying to think. No, not really. New York is probably the closest I got to communities of interest, just because of how explicitly divided by the different communities it is.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go. Every time you present an abominable map, I'm gonna say what I think it should really look like, because I haven't gotten really into the habit of draw. That is Mississippi, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. This is quite old too, but that's just amazing.
This is basically District 2. I'm assuming is Blackissippi.
It's 70%. This is really old. This is on 2010 data. Jesus Christ.
Oh wow! Oh, you've been doing this for a while.
Well, I mean, it would have been almost before the 2018 elections, probably.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, that's when election Twitter got its start.
Oh no, election Twitter. I joined in about 2014.
Oh, I thought elections Twitter was started in 2017 by Genya Coulter.
Well, I mean, she was around before, and we had been doing things well in advance to that.
Oh wow. Like I imagine one of the topics of discussion in 2013 would have been what was thought to be an upcoming competitive race in Kentucky between Mitch McConnell and ALG.
Oh God, what a joke. We were all that. No, really what a lot of us broke. I remember being really excited over the results in Virginia, us almost winning that. In Maryland, I mean, 2014 was a fun time.
Oh, Maryland. No, that was the big one. That was the one no one saw coming.
Well, Virginia, this is really uneven. Again, what was I drinking?
Okay. Anyway, why are you on Massachusetts? We're gonna get to Massachusetts in a bit. Anyway.
That's Maryland for the
Maryland.
record.
Okay. Oh God. Let's go to Alaska. I'm assuming that there's going to be a 1-0 D map.
Yes. With I'm always wondering when the guy's going to retire.
Yeah.
Because Alaska is a place that's quickly becoming more and more scary for us.
Yeah. You think we'd be gaining someday with natives with.
Well, but I mean, why? I mean, natives everywhere that isn't
North Carolina and Oklahoma.
They're super blue. I mean, you go to Arizona, there's some of the bluest portions of the state.
Oh yeah, they're also some of the more socially conservative portions of the state.
Yeah, but nobody votes on that.
Yep. Well, we did to get the Lumbee. I think the Lumbees are actually now more red than the white voters are.
Yeah. Where are the natives on this map?
And Lumbees are now more Republican than the white voters are, because I realized someone could
Yeah.
clip that and take it out of context
Um,
and get
they've
me.
managed to, let's just say, become quite valuable for both sides in trying to appeal to them. Did the Senate ever pass their Recognition Act?
I don't know. It might have been at the end of last year, so it died.
I don't know if the Senate ever, I know the House passed it, but I don't know if the Senate
Okay.
ever took it up.
Did you also want to do state maps as well, in addition to congressional maps?
Well, I mean, so far as I'm concerned, they're always the same thing, even though they won't be.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just increase the size of Congress so that every district is the size of a New Hampshire state house district?
Because that would make the Galactic Senate look small. Huh. Are these
Is the
contiguous?
Galactic Senate
No,
actually
what the,
active right now? I'm on it lately. Anyway,
I believe they all died in the seventh movie.
oh boy. Senate. Sorry, not Senate. Arizona.
It's the commission should draw a more reasonable map than the one we have now.
I mean, I'm actually a bit confused about as to what happened, because here's what I initially thought was a sequence of events. 2011, they draw a map. 2014, the voters vote on an independent redistricting commission, which I thought was going to start this decade, not the last one.
No, they have the commission. I believe it was elected in it's referendum one in 2010, I believe.
Oh wow, well, color
Because
me
they began their
confused.
work in. Oh, now I'm gonna have to look it up much more. Was it in 20? Maybe it was in 2008.
Color me confused, because I thought that was in 2014, which then the court then ruled on
No,
civil.
because that's when the Supreme Court ruling was put in, or that's when the ruling upholding it was put into effect. Was this way earlier than I thought it was? Which is
Republicans
definitely
were asking
possible.
the Supreme Court to strike down all ballot initiatives in every state as concerns redistricting, which would
Well,
have,
yeah, that was at least the idea.
well, that would have been a huge infringement on
Um,
states' rights.
well, the question is how you interpret the elections clause. Um, I would tend to say it gives the legislature the power to delegate its power to somebody else. But then the other view is not necessarily incorrect.
The states have to draw them themselves. So that would mean the governors
Well,
have
state legislatures have, oh, it's 2000. That's why it's quite
Oh
early.
wow, that
Um,
I'm surprised it took them that long to rule on it.
marginally. Well, nobody would have had standing before they actually did anything. Um, but for now, I mean, we now have a much more reasonable commission, I've heard. With most
Right.
decisions being made unanimously.
So I mean, like
Um,
a reasonable map, I feel like would have, I feel like would be like 4-4-1.
yeah, it basically, it should be roughly tied versus the map we have now that we can barely win a majority.
Yeah,
Um,
like
the state legislative maps should get safer. They were really badly manipulated in the last time.
Oh, you think
Um,
Democrats have no chance to flip the legislature next year?
well, I thought they were gonna take it last year and failed to do so, so
Yeah, that was a miracle.
I would generally say their chances are zero anyway.
Yeah, that was a miracle
Um,
that they held on. because here's the thing:
especially given some of the people.
Yeah, the Arizona Republican Party is like seemingly doing everything they can to lose control next year.
And yet, this is the stuff they've been doing for years and have still held on.
Oh, did you see that tweet? Like, I love Aunt Jemima. I love Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. I hate traitors that
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When she's an idiot. She's threatened control for so long. She's been doing this for a long time, and it's a problem. But I mean, you can see that. I mean, you can see the problem pretty acutely here. If I sort by yeah, I'm sharing my screen. All the D districts don't have as many people. This isn't voters, this is population.
Oh, it's malapportioned.
And so yeah. The gap here is much wider than I would ever tolerate. Well, actually, I need to set it to no, it is 2010. Yeah, this is on 2010 data.
So we don't have much to go by.
They drew the maps.
Because our data is literally more than a decade old.
No, but this is the data that they used when they originally drew the map.
Yeah.
So this isn't a reflection of 10 years of different population growth. This is a reflection of them biasing the maps to where blue districts are smaller.
Can't they sort of stay ahead of the curve of redistricting by sort of trying to guess where the maps are where the data is going to end up, and then sort of adjusting when the data gets released, so that they basically have their maps in place? They just have to make some small adjustments.
Well, I mean, that would just be a least change map. But the problem is with the new census policy, these maps are going to become impossible to make perfectly.
Oh, why?
Differential privacy will destroy making accurate maps. And will severely undermine those states that require their districts to be of exactly equal size. I think Texas is one of them.
What's Arkansas going to look like? At 4-0? Because I feel like a fair map would be 3-1.
I see no reason to deviate from what Dems drew the last time.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Well, why don't they shore up the second?
Don't need to. I mean, they could more readily crack it, but there's only somebody who we won't name who thought it would be competitive, and it's still pretty solid.
Yeah, it stayed Trump plus 10. But I feel like a fair map would draw Little Rock in with the Delta.
Well, a fair map probably would, but we're not in the business of drawing fair maps.
Certainly you're not.
Least change maps. Wow, this is a very interesting way to do shadows.
What are we looking at in California? That's the one I have no idea what's going on.
Well, there is a case in which the commission, it would likely try a least change map, but it can't since we're losing a district.
Right. So.
And so that alone is forced them to sort of be much more, they have to figure out, I've done, if I remember correctly, the most just ignore the map that's actually here.
Okay. I feel like I should stop you from sharing your screen at this point.
No, but just to show you the state itself, I'm not going to show the map itself. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna move quickly on
a separate issue.
Because I feel like we're getting sidetracked a lot.
The areas in the north are severely overpopulated, whereas I believe it was the heavily Hispanic portions of of LA that were becoming much more underpopulated. And so LA is probably going to be the one to lose a district, which probably screws us in CA25 because it'll lose its Ventura County bit and be driven further into LA. But OC is the more interesting question.
Yeah, I feel like
by far.
I mean, wouldn't you want to have like a Asian American district in Orange County that's Asian American?
It's not the easiest to draw, and it would be I don't know if you can draw a majority Asian. In fact, I can try that now. Nope. Alaska. Why
Can
does it?
can we get a candidate who's going to take out Katie Porter?
Doubt it. No, the way that district should be redrawn should make it much bluer than it is now.
Damn.
I wouldn't even bother competing for that district anymore.
Well, no wonder Katie Porter is the congresswoman she is. She's not worried.
Doesn't have to be, even though she did a lot worse than I thought she would.
Yeah, against whoever she was running against. My goodness. I really wish she had gotten Peggy Huang as the nominee.
That's who I supported, but let's pick out. There's not really, I mean, an Asian district would sort of be like, drawing really crudely, would kind of be like these portions of Irvine, Westminster. And then I think that's the county line, isn't it? Yeah, and then stretching over into LA.
That could be a pretty Republican district, like because like the Vietnamese vote swung hard to us.
It did, but even if it would have to include a ton of the white areas to the north. What is this even on? Get rid of the composite. What's wrong with you? But I mean, we still lost the seat by 3 points.
Yeah.
Even if you take it, because I mean, you see the Asian areas here are still pretty blue.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you look at the areas that.
I am a bit surprised that Michelle Steele and Young Kim won. I guess less so with Michelle Steele, but more so with Young Kim.
Well, I mean, you can look at the lines today, roughly with one district looking like that and one district looking like that. It's not surprising that they were able to take out, because I mean, Steele's district never should have been a blue district to begin with.
Yeah, it's heavily competitive.
Well, that's only because Robenbacher was a traitor.
Yeah, but also Clinton and Biden both won it by 2. Actually, Clinton was less
but
than
it's
2.
still one of the, well, it's one of those districts, kind of like South Florida, where it was still pretty red down ballot.
Yeah.
The only reason we lost the supervisor seat, of course, is we ran like 4 people and they ran 2.
Oh, so you still control the board of supervisors in Orange County, right?
But only because we control a seat that looks like this. Like you look at the
How often do board of supervisor seats get redrawn?
oh, they'll be drawn this time.
Oh yeah,
But we control the council.
I've never understood how often county councils or board of supervisors and city councils have to be redrawn.
Every 10 years is what they usually do.
Okay.
But like they control 1, or no, do they control 4? What are they? 2 and 4. Yeah, we only control it because we hold this. Andrew Du is a literal legend.
Oh,
We have no
seat.
right holding this district. Yeah, that's like Biden won that by a lot.
So it's probably going to flip next time.
We said it would flip this time and it didn't.
Well, we're on borrowed time as it is.
Maybe, but we'll likely, the good thing is though that we will retake the seat that I forget who we beat, but in fact I can see. Yeah, Foley. She's up next time, I believe, and we probably will retake that. So we'll eventually trade 1 and 2.
So we'll still be able to hold.
And even 4. Oh yeah, even 4 was a relatively close affair. Ooh.
Yeah. Did we lose control in San Diego County?
Oh, we got massacred. Do we have any seats left?
On the San Diego, I thought we had
I think
2, like a 3-2 majority. For Democrats.
They only did gain, but we got butchered really badly. It wasn't even funny.
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah, I think that was a
That was a,
Yeah, neither was particularly close. This is the seat that was the really competitive one.
yeah.
And you can see we barely even held the one that were kind of close. So
Yeah, there was also one that I think was like narrowly for Trump, and then we wanted like outright in the first round because like there was two Republicans that went forward.
yeah, and we're quite lucky at probably 4-1 now.
Yeah.
Um, even though I do think that was actually quite a red district, but
Yeah. Also, how do we still control the mayor's office in Fresno? That's another question.
well, still isn't. We just took it, so still isn't really the right word.
Right.
The previous guy was really strange and corrupt. That's why. We
You think
found.
you think we're in
I
danger
think
of losing
he
it
was a
next time?
local pastor.
Apparently,
Oh
the
no, I'm thinking of Stockton. Fresno. Fresno is a question of it always comes up on really low turnout elections.
oh yeah, oh that's the thing.
So nobody freaking votes.
How do we do locally in Arizona, like in the Phoenix suburbs?
I think we won everything, didn't we?
Scottsdale, Mesa, Glendale.
No, but I mean all the Maricopa County stuff. I think we all held it. We still hold the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. I believe a
I don't.
significant
I think
majority.
we only won back the. Did we win back the sheriff's office?
No, I think that's the only dumb one still left though. We
Right.
re we retook the yeah,
It's
we
fu-
retook the recorder last
yeah. It's
time.
funny that Biden flipped the county, yet we flipped back in office.
Yeah, I think we had a very good candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we still overwhelmingly control the Board of
Okay.
Supervisors. It was a relatively close affair, I believe.
Colorado. We gotta keep
Um,
moving.
there's no mercy there.
So it's a
Even
commission.
though their new commission, well, even with a commission, there's still not going to be any mercy just because of how it's been voting. But there is a case. Um, the commission itself has been more controversial than it probably should be, given some of the people on it are kind of radical.
Right.
Um, well, you remember the previous chair was like alt right guy.
Oh wow, an alt right guy.
Um,
So we're talking like a Corey
yeah,
Stewart in Prince William County.
except I think he was black too, so it was pretty funny actually.
Mark
But they
Robinson.
removed him. Yeah, basically, he's not that bad of a guy, but yeah. Um, but theirs is a case in which we just have such bad candidates running all over the place that
We
we really can't afford those seats to get any bluer before we lose
we
them.
apparently actually have like a statewide office in Colorado. And apparently she's running for the
That we'll
Senate.
lose next year. There's no way. Well, no, she's the college regent.
College Regent.
Yeah, and we'll lose that. There's no way we'll hold that.
Yeah. Connecticut. I feel like a fair map would be 4-1 for D's.
Well, it should be like 302. That would be a roughly fair amount versus the thing I drew.
Uh, isn't
Um,
there a supermajority requirement in the legislature without involvement from the governor? Couldn't we like flex our muscles?
they have a supermajority, don't they?
Yeah, and so why can't we flex our? Oh, they do.
Do they?
I'll look it up. My computer will actually.
Uh, they have it in the Senate and they barely lack it in the House.
So long shot.
So I mean, we could prevent it from getting any worse, but getting it to be, I'm sure our people would trade some marginally safer state legislative seats over,
So you think that
um,
Joe Courtney and Johanna Hayes are going to be fine?
probably, but this is what I drew in Connecticut. Um, just the most amazing map. This took me a long time.
The actual heck.
The best part is this. This district right here is so funny.
Okay, that looks like a spider.
No, that's the spider. That's also the majority minority district.
Yeah. Oh, you can draw a VRA seat in Connecticut.
I don't think that opportunity districts are VRA seats, but yes.
Although that looks like it would be illegal, like for other reasons.
But for what reason though?
It being as discontinuous as heck.
It is continuous. It's got the highways.
Like, isn't there like a legal standard that prevents districts looking like that?
No, because I mean you'll remember the old Arizona districts from the 2000s had a very similar
Like the something test.
where's
It's
the historic one?
the not
No, no,
not
look at that. I don't want you to download it. I want you to get memed here.
It's a good thing you're not showing yourself on camera.
Better. No, but you can see that. It's pretty bad. To connect this reservation over here.
Yeah, like what? Like Eric Cunningham is proposing doing something like that between Chapel Hill and Greensboro.
Well, there's another case where the VRA almost requires you to do stuff like that. That's why, there's always people, Jim Jordan's district is infamous for this, for being accused of being a gerrymander just because it has ugly, not, perfectly square
Yeah,
lines.
you ungerrymander his seat becomes safe Democratic.
Yeah.
Or rather,
I think
it becomes probably the most Republican district in the state of Ohio. He lives in like Western Ohio, right?
yeah, but like
Yeah,
that's not the test.
yeah.
The reason why
a fair map
the
in
reason why
Ohio
the
would give him like
earmuffs,
an R+50 seat.
yeah, the reason why people hate the earmuffs is simply because they're not necessary. Not because they're a gerrymander, so to speak,
His
but
district
just
looks like
because
a
you don't
duck.
need
That's what I don't like about his
them.
district. It looks
But you
like
don't
a
need them
duck.
anymore. But you don't need them anymore. If you ever did back then. I mean, you take a look at come on, Illinois, you can do it. I believe.
Why are
I
you
mean, you
loading up
take a look at
Illinois?
it, right? Well, to prove my point. You take a look at it, there's two cohesive Hispanic communities here. They don't need to be connected.
Right.
One here, one for these guys. Like, there's no need to draw the world's ugliest. See, it's 2-to-1 Hispanic.
So you don't need to connect them into. So you would argue it's packing to include them in one district?
Well, back into, can I even set this to 2010? I don't think I can. Back in the day, this probably would have been necessary because this VICAP number would have been, not, this VAP number would have been like 10% more white.
So
probably.
we're gonna get to Ohio and we're gonna get to Illinois. I was just wondering if you could confirm with me that Delaware is gonna be like 1-0 R.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that
I need to find. There was a really good Ohio map that
we're gonna get to Ohio. George, we're going. We're going in alphabetical order. Florida.
Well, Florida is a question. I mean, we're gonna get rid of that northern seat, 100%. There's no way it's staying around.
Al Lawson's seat.
Is that his seat?
Like the one that stretches all the way from Jacksonville to Tallahassee.
Yes. It's not remotely black enough to be protected. And we've seen Eric made a map today of it today with today's population figures having to be pretty bad to only irk out like a 2 or 3 point lead for blacks over white. It's not remotely black enough to be protected.
Okay, so
it's ugly as hell.
I'm looking up Duval County because I'm pretty sure Duval County is big enough that you would ideally want a Democratic district in that county.
Well, not really. It's about 50-50. You can draw a district that is almost wholly Duval County that would be almost would be highly competitive.
Yeah, no,
We
I mean,
shouldn't draw that. We should, um,
crack Duval like a hard-boiled egg in the
well,
hot
the
Florida
areas are so,
sun.
well, the areas around it are so red, you don't need to crack it that hard to make it a reasonably safe thing. But there's no, and the same thing with, Jacksonville.
Like
Um,
I don't want them to like have that stretch district. They should just
no,
put like
Tallahassee, what am I talking
a
about?
district in that's basically Jacksonville. Like
Which you could do. You could draw a most, I think the ball is sitting just below what it would need for its own district.
Duval, I think is big enough. It's Duval, based on my numbers, is 957,755. That is the 20. That is the
Oh, yeah.
2019 estimate. That's
Well,
comfortably enough.
the estimates are really bad.
Well, it had
Tragically,
864.
the ACS was obviously not correct.
It had 864,000 at the beginning of the last decade, so it comfortably has enough for its own seat.
Well, but did you see how, well, speaking of the estimates, a lot of places were really bad, the estimates, the accuracy of them.
Well, I'm going by last decade's. Like, surely, unless Duval County shrunk by 100,000 people, then it should clearly have enough.
It probably does, even though you do run into, ironically, that water continuity. Where is this
Uh,
map?
okay, where Jefferson County? Which one is Tallahassee and Jefferson?
No clue. Counties are the opposite of my specialty.
Because I
God,
know
my
that
Twitter feed is terrible.
Gadsden is like. I mean, I'm wondering if you could like do one that's also like Tallahassee and Gadsden County.
You may not, you don't want to leave too much to the west.
Okay, sorry, I'm kind of trying to thank you. Like my computer is actually quite old. Oh, cool! It's part of the Tallahassee. Oh my, what is wrong with my computer? Okay, Tallahassee. It is in Leon County. Okay. My computer
Wonder if
keeps
they
right
deleted it.
clicking for some reason.
Tragic. I wonder if they deleted it.
Okay. So yeah, no. Leon County only has like 293,000 according to the estimate.
Oh, it's very easy to
yeah, you can
overwhelm it with everything to the west. That's
you can crack Tallahassee easily. Oh, it's
that's easy money
also
there.
Leon County is only like is actually only 30% black.
Yeah, which is the problem in the north. It is not possible to draw a majority black district in the north without it going south. I've done it. Let me.
So I'm fine. Crack Tallahassee. Just put a district in Duval.
But like, was it this district that I drew? Is it even majority black? It's not.
Yeah.
This is the best I've drawn.
Yeah, no, I can't combine. No, you can't even combine Leon with Gadsden and get like a district. You
Look at the state of this. It's not even close. And this is trying really hard. This is still 50,000 under.
Wow.
And it's trying really hard.
Yeah, no, so
You could make this a lot better with
for Tallahassee to get representation. But surely
well, but it would have representation in whatever seat it would be in.
So if they have to draw it like that, does the VRA say they have to draw it like that?
But but that's what the disagreement is over. A lot of people seem to think that minority opportunity districts are protected. I of course don't. And so that will be for the courts to decide. Unfortunately, those are all courts that are quite conservative.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you think that you can crack Duval, I think that is recipe for dummy mander material.
Well, I don't know if there can be a such thing in Florida just because we're not that bad. Dummy manders tend to are a thing in states where state parties are becoming weaker and weaker and are trying to desperately shore up their position. In
Oh wow.
Florida, our position is pretty good.
Jacksonville is almost coterminous with Duval County. Yeah, so I definitely are. That's the one that I'm. So what about South Miami? What about Miami? What
Well,
else do?
there, I mean, a lot of we need to go as far for competitiveness as we can.
We can't
I
count.
personally like my strategy of making a safe blue
Well,
seat, but
stop
given
looking
the
at
way things are
Ohio and
going,
look
that
at
may not even be
Florida.
necessary. Look at that. Look at how beautiful this map is,
Stop
though.
looking at Ohio. We're gonna get to Ohio soon. Uh,
My knowledge of the alphabet isn't that good, so you're gonna have to tell.
oh my goodness, Florida. We're on
What
Florida,
what is my prettier version?
and then next is Georgia,
Uh,
and then we can skip Hawaii and we can skip Idaho. We can then go to Illinois.
I think it's this. This is pretty old and is not remotely up to date,
Now that looks
but
illegal.
this sort of structure, for what reason?
It looks like a number of VRA seats are missing.
It's got plenty of VRA seats.
Okay, now you're
If the
right.
district, if the statistics will load, it's got one black district. Um, five, excuse me, pretty Hispanic districts. I think that's on par with the current map, isn't it?
Well, here's what I would argue is the smart
Oh,
thing to do. Let me just say what Florida I would do. And I haven't mastered the exact number of districts, but I would say, if you're going to get rid of Florida 5, fine, but put a district in Duval County. I would say,
well, that would be highly competitive, and I don't know if they want to deal with that. They could,
well, I would say that's
but
better than the alternative.
well, I mean, the alternative is like 3 safe R seats up there. Basically, as I've drawn them here.
And then
Not this
watch
ugly, but
Dems win them
with these
all.
stripes. Shouldn't, I mean, 27. I mean, these are all, let's, I mean, these are all double digit
Yeah,
Republican
that
victories. This
looks
is the,
just as bad as the district they're breaking up.
well, yeah, but we win this district by double digits, so.
I like
I'd
the
much
idea
rather
of
have that than
I
a district we have no chance in.
I like the idea of a competitive district. I like a competitive Jacksonville district. I like the idea of a competitive Pinellas County district.
I usually object to, so what, yeah, so my map adds 2 Hispanic districts over the current one. While eliminating one of the, which black one does it eliminate? Oh, because it makes it, you can draw 2 in the south? Really?
Okay, and then I would also have I
I
guess
honestly didn't know that.
one on Orlando, one on Tampa, and one on St. Petersburg. And then I'd have a bunch down south. Oh yeah, and I also have a suburban one in Orlando as well. That one would be highly competitive.
Orlando is where dummy mander material will be made.
Yeah. Florida Republicans do not know what they're getting themselves into when it comes to Orlando. If they're
I mean,
smart,
it's a place in which you gotta draw it north.
yeah, if they're smart, Stephanie Murphy gets a safe seat. If they try to screw over Stephanie Murphy, they will probably screw up one of their own.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to really deviate from what they have now.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the current map, honestly.
well, you gotta add districts though. I think my current one, not obviously looking this stupid, but I think you need, to be really good, you need like 2 in Orlando, 1 for Tampa and St. Petersburg, and then how many ever you need
I would
here,
love
4 or 5.
I would love a Miami-based district that basically combines the Cuban population with the Orthodox Jews.
No, you don't wanna waste the Cubans though.
Right. But can we get like an Orthodox Jewish district in Miami or South Florida?
I doubt it. I think even in New York, you'll struggle to draw,
Right. Or can we get? Is there anywhere you could
districts that
draw?
are
Is there anywhere you could draw majority Jewish district?
New York Assembly, maybe?
Oh yeah, Simcha Felder.
They don't put, religion in the, DRA doesn't do it by religion, so you'd never know.
Yeah. I absolutely love.
Mostly because I think the census data on that is absolute trash.
The what on that?
Just the data itself.
All right, Georgia, Georgia.
Georgia's a shit show. Who knows what we're gonna do there?
9 to 5, 8 to 6. Or are
You
we
can
going?
try is it 15 now?
Oh no, it's only going to be 14 in Georgia.
14? You can 10 to 4 only works if you substantially rework the one in the Southwest.
Could we go for 11 to 3?
I wouldn't dare do that. We're not doing well enough in the state to even try.
Yeah, no,
That we'll
Georgia.
lose all those. 10 to 4 though, if you do something about that south, you don't get rid of it, but you I have, but I do like the Georgia I drew. It's out of date,
I
obviously,
don't like
but
how the cities of Macon and Athens get split on the current map.
well, but I mean, ignoring the rest of the map because it's ugly as hell. This is largely what the D districts should look like.
Yeah, I like what they do with Savannah and with Augusta. They put them in their own districts.
Where even is the ladder? Anyway,
You
but
know how
but
Buddy Carter's
'cause
district includes all of Savannah, Rick Klein or whatever his name is, carries all of Augusta.
I'm still looking for.
They should have done that with Athens, and they should have done that with Macon.
Oh, there's that. Well, but the problem is we're wasting an enormous number of voters in it, and there's no reason to do it. Like you can draw it into Atlanta, as I've done
Macon?
here. Yeah, this district right here.
You're not showing me anything.
Oh, that'd be helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
At least you didn't see me looking around the map like an idiot. But this design, obviously, you don't need to do. I did this just to be funny. But VRA wise, this is perfectly compatible with it.
I would argue at this point there should be 4 Democratic districts in Atlanta.
Well, there's 4 black. These are all black districts.
Yeah, and
That's why it looks like this because
four.
you have to crack the liberal whites up here. That's why this map looks like this.
Uh-huh.
But they're all majority black. Very majority black. I mean,
I've sometimes wondered
and the
if,
rest of them remain safe.
I've sometimes wondered if, like, on the county level, they should just take all the counties in like the southern suburbs of Atlanta and then combine them into one city of Atlanta and just leave out Cherokee and Forsyth.
You could, but I mean, a lot of those places have become so difficult for us. I mean, there's virtually nothing you could do to save them.
Like, I'm talking about counties. Like,
Precincts
there's too many counties in Georgia. There are too many counties in Georgia.
No. There's not enough counties elsewhere. We need to add a 0 onto the number of counties in this state.
In Georgia?
No, in California.
Oh, in California. Oh yeah, I noticed. Is it just me, or do counties get physically larger the further west you go?
Yeah. Counties used to be very important for the organization of government.
Yeah.
In the east, and that kind of went away as you went west.
Yeah, counties seem pointless now. They're the only
Actually,
reason.
the second advantage of this map is that there's absolutely no way that MGB wins a primary under this map. Not a
MTG.
freaking chance. The green,
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
because she lives over here, I think.
Yeah.
No freaking way with the amount of outer suburbs she'd hold.
Why didn't she why did she have to be such a pussy and move over to Georgia 14? She could have just been the nominee for in Georgia 6 and basically Lucy McBath would have won by like 20 points.
She actually didn't do that. Macbeth almost lost. Like, if we had seriously competed for that seat, we probably would have won it. We probably would have won the house had we assumed we could win.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you figure our path to a majority would have literally been one more in Iowa, one more in Georgia, one more in Wisconsin, and then one more in Michigan,
But there are
probably.
people I'm honestly glad they didn't win, honestly. Like the guy
Well,
who
but even a
was
narrow majority, even getting it down to 218 to 217 would have been enough to stop what's coming.
yeah, but the guy in what's coming?
Well, just with
Infrastructure.
the infrastructure package and the new reconciliation
I
and
don't
the
think
previous so-called
they're gonna
relief
have to
deal.
combine it all into one bill, honestly.
Well, it depends if the bipartisan negotiators get their text out this week.
Well, that means there would be no human infrastructure, and the progressives would then bail.
Well, but largely because they're not going to vote down the cloture motion. If 10 Republicans are on board, they're not going to be responsible for that.
Right.
Although I do partly agree with the criticisms in the National Review this week about we probably are still not getting enough in this package in terms of regulatory reforms and
Yeah. Anyway,
things of that nature.
Hawaii, we crack Honolulu in order to get 2 Republicans, and
There's barely enough for one.
I'm just kidding.
No, in the Senate though.
I'm fully aware. Oh, in the state Senate.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm fully aware, by the way, that outside Honolulu it gets bluer.
Oh yeah.
We nearly won Honolulu 16 years ago.
They sent Cheney, in the last weeks of the election.
Yeah, it was Kerry plus 3 in that area. I feel like all the reddest precincts in Hawaii were in most of them were in Honolulu. We're in Oahu.
Oh yeah.
Like Big Island is like as blue as it goes. Anyway, Idaho. You could crack Blaine County, I think is what it's called, or Boise. You don't even need to do that. You could
the current map is pretty good.
You could put Boise in its own district, and you still can't elect a Democrat. Anyway, Idaho's not worth talking about. Illinois. It's time for Illinois, and then we're going to do Indiana. Then we're going to do Iowa. Then Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana. We got a lot to do. I think we're going to have to do this in 2 parts.
My knowledge of the alphabet isn't that strong, so
at the
please.
pace we're moving, Illinois.
Well, I mean, with their redistricting of the Supreme Court, they'll probably deny us the opportunity to meme them with that.
Okay. 12 to 5.
So they'll probably draw maybe. Nah, they're gonna go worse than that. They've got there's no reason for them not to draw the maximalist map they want to.
Why would they not try to shore up Lauren Underwood? Why don't they just?
Well, they can. They'll just. But they don't. They no longer have to worry about the Cook County or the suburbs around Cook County screwing them. So they can just use those to shore up the area.
So how do you draw so basically we're drawing like a ring that basically like a half ring that goes from Urbana to Rockford.
I mean, I saw a good example of this. Let us find it.
Basically, Democrats, the most democratic part of Illinois outside of Chicago is Urbana.
Why is it so hard to find stuff on Twitter?
You don't have an Illinois
Can
map?
anybody explain this to me? Huh? No, but you draw two kind of C-looking red districts in the south. And then that's enough to just do it.
I need to see this. So we're gonna have to
looking for
we'll
it.
have to come back to Illinois. Indiana.
I'd be very surprised if we don't go 8-1.
A1. So they're gonna crack the North and West. They're gonna crack Gary. Like,
or you put Gary with Indianapolis. That's what I did.
yeah, that seems pointless.
Well, but it's short. You can shore up the suburbs more easily with that. You risk a lot of stuff if you don't do that.
Iowa.
Personally, I would prefer 3-1, but I doubt they'll probably just go for
4-0.
No, I wouldn't try 4-0. We don't win by that much that consistently yet.
Yeah, I would say
But
that
we need to break the Northwest up. That district is way too red.
yeah, the fairest map I would say is, well, I think one that Eric drew. That's basically one district is basically two heavily rural districts, one in the west, one in the east. That's basically our heavily Republican. There's one in the east that's basically a communities of interest district. That is basically Lynn and Johnson County. So Cedar Rapids down to Iowa City, stretching east to Dubuque and Davenport.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. It's a relatively clean affair.
Yeah, and then for Iowa's third, you basically give a safe district. You basically give a relatively safe district to Cindy-Axne. That's basically centered on Polk County. And it's basically like a windmill.
Yeah,
goes to Ames, goes to West Des Moines, and then goes into into more Republican areas in the other two directions.
yeah. Iowa was one of my first tests when blocks came into be. And I had a lot of fun, as you can see.
Yeah. And oh goodness, what in the world is that?
Such an amazing map.
Yeah, no, my opinion, the fourth district would combine Council Bluffs and Sioux City.
Probably. You really kind of just need a district that kind of does this, a district for this, a district for Des Moines, and then just kind of a district to the rest. Probably that would be what all of this.
A windmill on Des Moines and like a square on Cedar Rapids and Iowa City.
Yeah, ideally those two would be separate.
Because
kind of cracky, but
when you combine Cedar Rapids and Iowa City, then you get, it's a communities of interest district, and we know how you feel about that.
Yeah, it's an oxymoron.
Kansas.
If they go 4-0, we're gonna lose like 3 districts over the next 10 years.
In my opinion,
they need to do something.
In my
they need to do something like this.
Okay, they don't even have to do that. They can do something a lot more clean than that. They can basically take most of Johnson County, take it north to Wyandotte, and then west to Douglas County. So you have a Kansas City and Lawrence district. That's how you pack the Democrats into one district there.
That's what I just said.
Except that you're going into Topeka. You're going to Wichita. I'm going to Wichita.
Just this. I'm intentionally zooming in. Just this. And then include a lot more of the suburbs here, obviously.
Yeah.
No. This is how you get that idiot winning 3 out of 4 districts.
Oh, Chris Kovac. Oh, but this is Chris
Yeah,
Kovac versus
you know
Laura
how
Kelly,
hard it
though?
is. Yeah, that's why these are so
It,
light
is
red.
that Manhattan, right, that I'm looking at on that small dot in the north?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I'm lucky there's, it took me a long time to figure out the highways for this. Cause it's a lot of work to draw these blocks like this. You have to, in DRA, it's still pretty
Yeah,
glitchy
so
when you're
I
doing stuff
suggest I
like
would
this.
suggest PAC, Democrats, Kansas City, and Lawrence. Kentucky.
I'm hoping that Illinois releases its maps early, so it persuades them to destroy that district,
Yeah, no, I think that
as they
right
should.
now, I would actually caution against cracking Louisville. That could be dummy manner material.
But I mean, it's only a dummy mander if we lose the state. Like, what?
Like Louisville's getting bluer.
Oh. No, but say even in the governor's race, where in this map we lose a bunch, these are pretty narrow. And if you go to the attorney general figures, which is much more reticent, we win them all by a bunch. There's no reason to base it on an idiot's performance in a state that we don't normally lose. That would be like Dems worrying about Maryland just because, it's or Hogan's the
I'd
governor.
say
Like,
pack Louisville into its own district. Then for craps and giggles, split off Lexington because they can't get their own representative anyway.
that's basically what the map does now,
Right. Except that
given
I
how
also
big everything around Lexington is.
Lexington is hard to beat. Like for just stretch it, I would say one thing that you could do that would be funny is like putting Lexington in with Northern Kentucky.
Well, I mean, you just split it up into a million pieces. That's what you can do. It's not remotely a VRA district. The
Yeah,
only
no, it is.
reason to keep it
It's
around
just
is
dumb.
is that some
It's
people like the
dumb to
guy in
not keep it.
charge.
It's dumb to keep. It's dumb to not keep it around. And it sounds like they're gonna keep it around.
Well, it depends what if they listen to. I know a lot of the people in those House seats fear slightly bluer districts because they underperform every election.
Yeah.
But that's just an incentive to find better people. Like, do we really need Massey?
Yeah, I mean, we would have gotten him, except that the guy who primaried last time turned out to be a POS.
Um, I mean, really
Louisiana.
tragic part is we have to wait another 2 years to retake everything.
Well, what about next year?
I don't think Dems are gonna get their second district.
You don't think they're gonna get the second district?
Well, no, because they run their elections differently. Well, they want a second black district, but it's pretty hard to draw overall. Because you kind of have to combine. I mean, the district looks like this
Doesn't look so bad so far.
without all the white
But I
areas,
don't
obviously.
see. Oh,
No, but it's an ugly concept. To get it to be, and if we refuse, I don't know where there's unassigned.
they could
districts.
also
That's
just
interesting.
change it back in 2024. We're no strangers. We mid-decade redistrict, so we could do that.
Well, but we have no incentive. I mean, we control all the state courts, and they're just going to draw a least change map if the legislature refuses.
Maine,
Like,
no change.
there's no reason to give anything up. Oh, Maine doesn't need any. I mean, Dems could end our chances of winning in the North if they really felt like it, but
I think there's something.
there's almost no reason to.
Yeah. So what are you saying about Louisiana?
Well, but we don't technically have the votes to pass a 5-1 map. But the courts presumably will draw it if we don't, and they're not going to draw a second black district. So
Okay.
I don't know what the threat really is there.
Maryland 8-0, Massachusetts 9-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, we don't have remotely the position to push for a slightly redder district, which you can draw. You don't have to draw what I did, but you can draw a much redder district than exists today.
Yeah.
Um,
Michigan.
where even are my Michigan map? Oh,
I
here they
love.
are.
See,
I haven't done a Michigan map in a long
I had some
time.
ideas about what they would do. Like, I figured, there would
Well,
be.
that was with that horrible, I have no idea what the commission's even doing. I want whatever they're smoking.
What is the commission doing?
Um, well, they're
I think.
thinking about drawing little circles all over the place. Just ignore that. But this is what I would draw, of course. And I do believe it. Is it VRA
I would
compliant?
draw.
Doubt it.
I would draw I would draw like 4 Democratic districts in the Detroit metro. Like, what 2 that are VRA, like 2 in downtown Detroit. One I think there'd be at least one in Oakland. I think like between Wayne and Oakland counties, you could get like 4 districts in just those areas.
I'm pretty sure they'll go 8-8.
But Michigan only has
7-7, excuse me.
Yeah.
7-7, yeah.
Well, Michigan's only has like 13 seats.
Are they losing one?
They're losing one.
So then it will probably be 7-6 in probably our favor,
No,
just because they have a geography problem.
What I would do is 4 Democratic districts in the Detroit metro between Wayne and Oakland counties. You would have another Democratic district that's basically Alyssa Slotkin's seat, running from Lansing to. My original idea was Lansing to Flint, but I think that's not a good idea.
It's a little too similar to the existing map, isn't it?
Well, no, that one is like Flint is in with Saginaw. It was intended to be a Democratic vote sink, but it became like Biden +4. That's Kilde's seat.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I had an idea of putting like 6 Democratic districts, like 4 or 5 in the Detroit metro. One that's basically a safe seat for Alyssa Slotkin that's centered on Lansing, either going to Flint or going to Washtenaw County, which is Ann Arbor. I guess then they would have to do something with. They keep Flint and Saginaw. I guess is like that would be like a highly competitive seat that Dan Kildee would probably lock down. Then they would have safe Republican districts, one in the Upper Peninsula, one in the middle, one I guess I don't know where they put them all, but like one in the Thumb, one in I guess the area to the west of Detroit, one I guess somewhere to the north of what's it called, Grand Rapids. Then they'd have a Republican-leaning district centered on Kalamazoo. That's basically 6 Democratic districts and 6 Republican districts, and then finally there would be a fair fight district that is centered on Grand Rapids, going into the west of that.
Sounds about right. I don't know. The West could get kind of, well, in Detroit, the reason why everybody hated that really compact one is that it almost certainly violates the VRA. You gotta be careful with that. And it makes Dem's job a lot harder because they have to keep those kind of weird communities together.
Is Dearborn in Rashida Tlaib's district?
Yes.
That's how she won.
I think so. Yeah. And of course, there you have obviously the census deeming people white when I would imagine they don't think of themselves as that.
Yeah. Minnesota.
I'd be surprised if they keep. Well, we have the state senate, so the courts are almost certainly going to draw it, unless a grand or a bipartisan gerrymander is reached.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it doesn't change terribly from the overall figures
4 to
right
4.
now.
4-4,
Nah, probably 5-3.
5-3 in our favor.
No, in their favor.
Oh, how do you do that?
Basically, the current map is 5-3, isn't it?
Well, I actually no. We won Colin Peterson's seat.
But I'm pretty sure we lost that suburban seat south of St. Paul, didn't we?
Like you mean Angie Craig? Oh yeah, we didn't win that one.
It was much closer than it should have been.
Right, but
But
we did also
I
did
think
not.
it's 5-3 now. What?
I'm pretty sure that's not correct.
Let us look the figures up. Oh no, it is 4-4 because yeah. Because we held Claycorn. I forgot about him.
We
Yeah,
held Jim Hagedorn.
yeah. So
Like-
yeah, I would imagine it doesn't change terribly much from the structure we have now because it's got lots of purple seats that we can meme everybody with, or they can meme us if we really wanna have some fun. But otherwise, I can't imagine it's not gonna change for us to the better. So
I just found that a certain someone is catching up with me in terms of Flash episodes.
dear God.
So we might have to move quickly so that I can resume that. So what do you think they're gonna do? So I think 4-4 or 4-3-1 in our favor.
Yeah, the courts will probably draw another blue suburban district. Well, they'll just make Craig's seat much bluer than it is today.
You think you can do that?
So making a 4-4 deal, oh yeah, very easily. Making a deal would be my preference.
Okay. Mississippi 3-1. Missouri. How in the world? Why in the world is Emmanuel Cleaver's seat drawn the way it is? I have no idea.
It's not that radical, is it?
Well, let's look. Let's see what. I mean, it's like stretches into the countryside. Like, what are you doing with that?
Oh, the reason for that is because I believe it's aiming for those minority neighborhoods out to the east. And
Really?
it's trying to avoid the super white neighborhood, the super red and white neighborhoods to the south.
What is in the east? What is like? Are there neighborhoods to the east like that are like halfway to St. Louis?
Yeah, even my district includes an offshoot into that area for that reason.
Oh my
But let us
goodness.
see the what they were I mean, obviously the area would have been much bluer back in the day.
Yeah, I'm thinking they tried to draw out Emmanuel Cleaver and it didn't work.
Oh no, that district almost certainly would have been way bluer than it is. Oh no, what were they doing?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you know what? You know what they were doing? These rural areas were almost certainly much bluer a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like if I look back at the 2008 figures,
Like strictly
yeah, the district's gotten like 7 points redder since then.
Yeah.
No, excuse me, 9 points redder. So, those were probably blue areas to start with.
Okay.
Back
Yeah,
in the old days.
I was able to draw a district that is all of Jackson County with a small portion of Clay County.
No. That district needs to be abolished or looped in the way that the real earmuffs, the way I did it.
Apparently, Eric says that that's not going to happen.
It almost certainly won't, and it's a shame. They like him for some reason.
Yeah.
But I personally like the earmuff strategy. Well, the earmuffs with the headset, we'll call it the headset strategy.
Yeah, no, I think they would be dumb if they tried to do that because that area is getting bluer. Like that, the city is getting
Not
bluer.
blue enough. No, I like the headset strategy.
And it goes to Columbia.
Yeah. There's some blue precincts in there. That's the microphone, the earmuffs,
That is
I think it's pretty good. But
that is
everything else is really red. I don't know why you wouldn't want to risk. I mean, even by the, do I have Senate 2016 here? Even by
that's
the worst, I mean, we still win by double digits in every race.
was that 2016 Senate that we was looking at?
Yeah. So our weakest one, we still win by over 10 points. So I'm reasonably sure we would be
Well,
fine for
why
the
can't
next
they just at
decade.
least shore up the second?
Well, because you need to break like the suburbs here, you can see my plan. Just crack it off into the south here, which is very red.
Yeah.
The irony is if you did this, this district would gain VRA protection.
Isn't it already have VRA protection?
The one does, yeah, but the whole concept would gain it because it is 55% black.
Right. Montana. How do they draw that?
It'll be 1-1, or it'll be not one. It'll be
2-0, but like
two.
where
It should be like 2 light red. Because the hardest part is going to be YOLOing past the state courts, and they shouldn't be a problem for too much longer. I believe we referred our Supreme Court amendment to the ballot. In fact, let me look up the
yeah,
status. on that.
what's that going to do? Districts?
Well, we're putting districts in for the Supreme Court,
Oh wow.
so we can. Yeah, it's on the ballot. LR 132. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Um,
Nebraska. No change.
Yeah, we don't have a filibuster proof majority, and Bacon can win the seat, and we can shore it up a
You'd
little
also
bit.
be dumb to try to crack Omaha.
Oh, you can easily do it. The West is that red. You cut it up into a couple different pieces.
I don't think the
Well,
West
you
would be
can see
happy.
where's. Of
Like,
course, nobody lives in the West, so it's pure vote getter. Where is it? Here it is. Wow, these are old.
you want to show me?
2019.
Yeah, if you don't have a map on Nebraska, let's move to Nevada. If you don't have a map on the, oh my goodness.
It's pretty simple to do it. I mean, Trump by 20 points. No, better, 25. You're not gonna lose these seats anytime soon.
Nevada.
Total shit show. I wouldn't be. It'll be
3 to 1.
curious to see what they do with Reno, because it should be combined with the South, not the North.
I imagine that Reno and Sparks are drawn down to Clark County, like along like that.
You don't need to do that, but you just need to take that North Vegas district and trade, with the North to make one much redder district.
I have an idea for a map that everything ends up touching Clark County in some way.
Like this? Look
yeah,
at the state of this
like
map.
you have one like the most Republican district basically goes down and taking the southern tip of Clark County. So
No, this is what you need. Look at the state of those blue districts.
Why do lawmakers never draw your? Why don't lawmakers just hire you to draw their maps?
Because they don't want to get sued. Look at the state of the 15 connections to the inner. I mean that you know how long that took me.
Yeah. Like I was widely
the best part of it.
I was widely expecting election Twitter guys to get jobs like drawing districts for some legislatures this decade.
There are some people around that do that. That do have real jobs in the industry, shall we say?
Yeah.
They don't like to talk about it though.
New Hampshire, I don't think. I mean, you could draw like a Biden +2 seat, but I don't know why you can do better than that.
I do think we definitely, the most important thing is retaining our state Senate majority. Remove our dummy mander of the executive council, and make the second slightly safer.
Or like I would argue that the Republican district should ideally take in Coos County.
Yeah, yeah, because it doesn't need to be too much redder for us to have a decent chance.
You can make like a Biden +2 seat, but
yeah,
you
which we could easily win.
yeah then you would give like Ann Custer like a safe seat, but you'd make the other one potentially winnable.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
But otherwise, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, New Jersey.
Well, here though, they're trying to pick a tiebreaker for the commission.
Oh yeah, that I've read about that. That's gonna be fun. Because otherwise, I was thinking.
I'm.
Yeah.
Please.
I was gonna say.
No, go ahead.
10-2.
Dems could try it, but the North is kind of a tricky place. Our people should push for 3.
Ocean County and like the reddest parts of Monmouth, and then one in that's like Sussex.
Yeah, basically 1 in the north, 2 in the south.
How do you get
stop right there?
How do you get 2 in the south?
Well, I mean, even the de-gerrymanders usually include 2 in the south, don't they?
Well, I saw one that was like 1 in the south, 1 in the north.
Which you can do.
Basically like the double pack.
Not Jersey City, whatever it's called. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but just ignore the blue districts. But you basically do sort of a red district with the red parts of 10 and 11 and sort of another red district.
Is that a Republican gerrymander? How in the world do you get something like
that? It's really malproportioned, isn't it? I think this was good on 2010 numbers. I'm not that illiterate or enumerate, rather.
New Mexico 3-0 or 2-1. Sorry, I'm moving.
We should get our 1 because Dems may demimander if they try for 3-0.
And they're also going to anger the Native Americans.
Yeah, that would be very risky, especially with the way things are going. That's demimander material there.
Although, mind you, that district was Bush +17 in 2004.
Yeah, I mean, because you either have to draw the anti version of me or risk a demimander. Because you can mix all the whites and Hispanics, you can turn it into a giant melting pot, but it'll look like a freaking, pepperoni pizza after a while.
New York.
So I would definitely go
New York.
Oh, you know how long it took me to draw New York? That was weeks of work.
Okay. Let's see what I'm gonna guess.
Dems, I think Dems will go really hardcore though. We will be lucky to retain probably that because it's going to be I don't think they'll destroy Staten Island. That's you run into VRA issues doing that.
Here's what I think they're gonna do. Long Island is gonna be like 3-1 Democratic. That's like so they're gonna turn Lee Zeldin's seat into a Democratic one. They're gonna pack all the Republican parts of Long Island into Garbarino's seat. Then I think New York City's basically and Westchester's gonna be like 12-1. Like you're gonna have like a black seat, like several Hispanic seats, like an Asian seat for Grace Meng, and I would argue that the Maliatakis is going to get Staten Island and Borough Park if they're smart.
Yeah, basically Staten Island ignoring this is the best district ever. Right here, this is so awesome.
What is that?
I have a great affinity for this district.
And then north of New York, there's going to be like 2 competitive seats. One on Poughkeepsie, another one on the Catskills. Those are going to be super competitive. But like Pat Maloney and Delgado.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna take out Tennessee, I assume. And
you're gonna take out what?
Use the votes in Albany, Tennessee, what's her name? Like you say, is
Poughkeepsie?
The one who won, in Yeah.
Or
They'll, Keiko, they'd be suicidal to try and take him
Catco.
out. Yeah, he'd win.
No, I think they're
He'd
going to
win
try to.
anything,
I think they're going to try
basically.
to take out Catco. I think they're going to. I think what they're going to do is they're going to put 3 districts in the north for the Republicans: North Country for Elise Stefanik, Southern Tier for say someone like Claudia Tenney, and then the middle like between Rochester and Buffalo for Chris Jacobs. Democratic districts are going to be.
I just don't think they don't need though that southern district. I think the north is still a little too vulnerable. I mean, they almost lost the Rochester district in 2014.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen again.
I'd be very careful over Well, but I mean, the conditions could.
They're,
I'd be
they're, they're
very
gonna
careful
they're gonna
about
put
using that
4
too
Democratic
aggressively.
districts in the upstate. Upstate's gonna be 4 Democratic districts. Albany and Schenectady.
Which is
Uh,
overburdened. Three with using Yonkers and such to shore up the south would be much smarter.
I was gonna say Albany and Schenectady, Rochester, Buffalo, and then finally they're gonna draw Syracuse in with Tompkins County. So that's Ithaca Cornell. They're gonna do that in order to screw over Catco.
As I said, you could try, but his overperformances are record setting. I mean, taking him out would be very dangerous.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna try.
I don't know if I would risk that.
Now let's discuss the black hole of litigation that is North Carolina.
Well, I mean, that's Eric's thing, not mine. But I mean, basically, with control of the courts coming, there'll be virtually nothing to stop us from going 12-3.
12-3.
Yeah. Basically, with the form.
There's obviously
Or
Charlotte.
11-4. Either one works. Either one does work,
Obviously
technically.
Charlotte.
I mean, you don't.
Okay,
Is
so
this 4? Did I
no,
really
I
draw
don't think
4
North
with that?
Carolina has that many seats. I think North Carolina is gaining 1 seat, so it's 14.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, right?
No, that you 11-4 would be 15.
Oh, no, 10-4 is what I mean. Yeah.
Math. Work
No,
on
but
your
I mean, you could
math.
try for this. You could try to go for this. Not obviously not. No, this is not even the right one. I've always got the number of blue districts right. Let's just say that.
Charlotte. You need 1 Charlotte. You probably would want one stretching from the Black Belt into Raleigh, and then you want one that's like Raleigh Durham, right?
Well, Greensboro.
Well, I would argue that
Kind of
Greensboro,
Durham.
Winston-Salem should also be a district. So 10-4, I think, is your.
Like this is a bit much. This looks way too much like a swastika, but you
10
basically want
I can't unsee
than what we
that.
got here. You basically want one that kind of does this, one that does this, and one that does that, but better.
Buncombe is too small for a district.
Nope. Not when you draw it like this, it's not. That's basically what you'd want if you were going to do it like this, which you can do.
So we should just, if we were calling
relatively safely.
If we were calling districts by names as opposed to numbers, I think that one would be called West North Carolina.
Oh, I did that with my California map once, and it was just 3 completely disconnected cities stuck in the name.
Okay. I would do Charlotte, Raleigh and the Black Belt, and then Durham, and then finally a 4th one that's Winston-Salem and Greensboro.
Yeah, and these are all pretty close to majority blacks. So
no, in my opinion, Metrolina 1, Research Triangle 2, Piedmont Triad 1, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, the question. I mean, obviously, we have to actually take the Supreme Court in order to defend such a map.
Apparently, Democrats are defending every seat.
Yeah, I think they have, because they have 4 seats left, and I think either 2 to 4 of them are up. I don't know if they're all up, but,
Okay, North Dakota,
um,
1-0
if we,
Democratic. Okay, go ahead,
definitely.
fine. Go ahead.
No, definitely. North Dakota.
But you were
I'm
talking about
quite
North
afraid
Carolina?
for that, actually.
You're talking about North Carolina?
Oh, no, I was just, yeah, it is two, yeah, 2 Dem seats are up in 2022 with none of ours up.
So yeah, that should be good.
So. So that, and with newbie will be able to delay a redistricting case until after the election.
Okay. Okay,
So
now we can talk about Ohio. I know you've wanted to talk about that for a while.
I've had the map, the Holy Toledo map.
It's
This is roughly, I see a variation of this being drawn.
can I? Uh, oh God, I want to text Eric that.
He has a better version. I just can't find it. I don't know why I'm unable to find the variant of that will deal with that. But the final version will look something like this. And obviously we have to defend our Supreme Court seats there. But, that will be perfectly defendable
Okay, so I mean,
and legal under the
here's the thing.
amendment.
Here's the thing. Under the amendment, I think what they're going to do is as follows. I think we're looking at 8 Republican, 4 Democratic, 3 very competitive.
There's no reason to draw it like that. The
Except
amendment was
there's no
almost
reason to draw
tailor
it
made,
except that the Democrats can demand it
but they can't.
because you need
All,
buy-in from.
all that their rejection of an map means is that it'll have to be redistricted again in 4 years, which is sort of like, don't threaten me with a good time.
No, I mean, what I love what they did with where District 1 is safe Democratic on Cincinnati. District 2, safe Republican to the north of that. District 3, VRA seat in Columbus. District 4.
There's no reason to do that.
Have you seen the trends in Cincinnati?
But I mean, but there's no denying that this green seat, say, would be competitive, but there's no reason to draw a safe blue seat there.
Except
Ohio
that,
Republicans are not an incompetent bunch of fools and do not need their hands held in order to,
again, I'm just going to go what I like Eric's fair map, which is District 3 is a VRA seat in Columbus. District 4 is a area to the northeast of Columbus that is safe Republican. District 5, safe Republican, all Western Ohio. District 6, Appalachia, safe Republican. Although, mind you, probably it gets a bit more Democratic down the ballot. District 7, fair fight district in the southwestern suburbs of Cleveland. District 8, south of Columbus, safe Republican. District 5, fair fight district that could be described as Holy Toledo. That's Marcy Captor
or
seat.
you could draw something like this,
That's Holy Toledo.
which is another,
yeah, that looks
which is
good.
another,
But I'm talking about what
which could,
what Eric's fair map would look like. District 10, Republican centered on Dayton. District 11, VRA seat in Cleveland. District 12, second Democratic seat in Columbus that includes Delaware County. That's only Biden plus 13. District 13, fair fight seat in Akron. District 14, Republican seat on Youngstown. District 15, compact seat in Appalachia centered on Steubenville and Athens. Thank you and good night. And thank you to Eric for drawing that map. Hello, anyone home? I can't hear you.
I I couldn't hear you as well.
Oh,
What was the
wow.
question?
What do you last remember me saying?
Something about Toledo.
Oh, I said like 6 different districts after that. Okay, so
No. Holy, it was a holy Toledo joke.
yeah,
It
no,
was a holy Toledo joke.
District 9 is centered on Toledo and is a fair fight district. Marcy Captor might be a
No,
little.
I got all that.
Okay, District 10. District 10. Oh well, Caitlin. District 10 is centered on Dayton. District 11 is a VRA seat in Cleveland. District 12, Democratic seat, second Democratic seat in Columbus that includes all of Delaware County. That's Biden plus 13. District 13, centered on Akron, fair fight seat. District 14, Republican seat in Youngstown. District 15, finally, is Steubenville and Athens and is safe Republican. Did I lose you again?
Here it is. No. I found it. I finally found the version I was looking for.
That is going to dummy manner itself very quickly.
I doubt it because there's enough of the rural areas around Columbus to keep them safe. And the
Columbus is
Cincinnati
not
seat
what I'm
is
worried about.
designed to
Columbus
be
is not what
competitive.
I'm worried about. It's Cincinnati.
Well, but Cincinnati, you're only potentially going to lose one seat under that arrangement, right? Which you're going to automatically lose if you draw a safe blue seat.
This to me is just like the Ted Budd scenario in 2018.
I mean, even by 2018 Senate figures,
That is a beautiful
the
result.
seat is not that blue. The seat is not that blue.
Wait. Did that Appalachia seat get really close?
Well, I mean, what's his name?
Renacci.
Rick Anigi or something like that. He did abominably. Like
Renacci?
that's what a Dem victory looks like. Yeah, what an idiot. Like, but
I love
Dems
how
are
you
not going to be able
pronounce
to
his
repeat that
name.
performance. I don't pronounce. I hate pronouncing names. He's the one who lost Ohio.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it can be done.
Okay. Oklahoma. 5-0. I'd say you can't draw a Democratic district in Oklahoma. The best you could do is like a Trump +1 seat in Oklahoma County.
Generally, I would avoid. I mean, obviously, you can crack everything pretty hard. Just because there's no reason not to.
Oregon.
As long as you don't draw the seat that's there now, it won't be a problem.
Okay, Oregon.
Right? Well, with our newfound power, we should be able to gain a second seat.
Yeah, and that will help to shore up DeFazio and Schrader, although Schrader, I think, is going to be primary.
Probably given the way he's voting, but we should be able to secure a second seat for ourselves.
Oh, for sure. Pennsylvania. That's my favorite.
Tragically, we haven't pushed our other Supreme Court amendment further along, so hopefully they get on that.
I think what I'm thinking is
we
going to
can.
do. What I'm thinking they're going to do is, I actually like what Joe Szymanski mentioned, which is that basically putting Bucks County in with Northern Philly. Apparently, that area is like
Let's
similarly
see where
to
his
Bucks.
recent map is.
Joe Szymanski, like Bucks County, and Northern Philly, which is like actually shores up Fitzpatrick.
He doesn't particularly need to be shored up, but yeah.
Yeah, two safe Democratic districts like in and around in Philadelphia, which is also going to be one of them is going to be VRA. Another one that's centered on Montgomery County, one that's centered on Delaware County, one that is like kind of competitive that goes from Chester to Reading. One that is actually kind of shored up for Susan Wild that's centered on the Lehigh Valley. I think they shored up by including Monroe in that one. Then one that leaves Cartwright out to dry because they're not going to retain that seat. Republican seat, I think it's centered on, I don't know how to pronounce names, Schuylkill. I don't know how to pronounce that name. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the most unreasonable thing I've ever seen.
And then one that's centered on Harrisburg and York. And also Cumberland. And then that's a kind of competitive seat. That one that Scott Perry, quite frankly, is a poor fit for. District 11 is centered on Lancaster. District 12 is like southern portion of
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of these are on the screen.
yeah, these
Is
are
this
all
the map you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, I like how Adams County is in the 12th. That's I love Yankee Republicans in Gettysburg.
Eight is way too competitive for what needs to be drawn there.
Uh,
9 doesn't need to look like a C for that. And I think there's still a suburban seat to be gained out of 1 and 6.
Yeah. I love what they do with the district. So obviously there's like district that gets like combined because like I think I'm assuming like the general center of the state is hollowing out. I'm assuming you have some sort of gerrymander that includes State College into a blue district.
My version's pretty extreme, so probably.
Oh, the one that ends up that
It's out of
where
date too.
a district that ends up getting where Tom Wolf wins every single district.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he easily wins all these.
Tom Wolf
No, you
wins
know what?
every.
I think he loses one of them. Yeah, no, he loses a couple of them. 4 of them.
But that is why we don't gerrymander, my
That's it.
friend.
But the results of the governor's race aren't remotely close to what it would look like in the House. I mean, even shaded by Senate figures, where we didn't do that good, we still win.
Oh yeah,
What is it?
I'm
They
looking
only win
that
7 out of 18.
that district centered on Pittsburgh. I am very much looking forward to Mike Doyle being primaried by Summer Lee.
Oh yeah. But I mean, if you look at the attorney general figures for 2016, which we did not do that well, this is what it looks like. And that
Yeah.
map functions perfectly. The only real problem with this is obviously the suburbs around Pittsburgh are kind of weird.
Yeah.
But as long as we don't regress too badly there, we win easily. This is obviously one of the most ghetto maps I've ever drawn.
Yeah, there are some red trending parts of Allegheny County, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania is not particularly my state, but
right. So Rhode Island 2-0 somehow. I think they would have rather than it be 1-0.
Oh, that was so rigged. They totally don't deserve that second seat.
But like, no, I think Rhode Island, like there are parts of Rhode Island I think Democrats are going to be worried about.
Well, this is how I did Rhode Island.
Right. I mean, isn't like Rhode Island like one of the most culturally conservative parts of New England?
Probably, even if oh, for God's sake, why are people emailing me?
South Carolina 6-1. But I just don't know how you shore up Nancy Mace's seat.
In what state? Sorry.
South Carolina. Or Blouth Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina, shoring that up should not be difficult, so long as you take the shore and cut it up into a million different pieces.
Yeah.
You don't need that sort of coastal. Ignoring the swastika that exists here, you basically just need to draw
I don't see
the
a
coast
swastika
around a little bit. Look at the blue seat and kind of squint your eyes.
Yeah, we've seen that map before.
So, but generally the important note is just how to cut those areas up.
Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing can be anything remotely described as communities of interest in this map. Like Greenville gets chopped up here.
Well, I mean, broadly speaking, I mean, you've got the downtown Charleston map, the southern Charleston district, the Mount Pleasant district that gets combined with
Myrtle Beach,
Chester. Yeah. Or the Port Royal to Senate yeah, whatever that's called, district. So I mean, it's close enough, I think.
as opposed to say a Greenville seat.
Yeah,
Okay, South Dakota safe
I go and
libertarian.
make sure that's cut into several.
Yeah, South Dakota safe libertarian.
No, of
Tennessee.
course.
I'm actually starting to wonder if Tennessee that actually should be they should crack Nashville considering how it's trending.
Oh, they need to destroy Nashville. There's no reason to keep it around. Or you
Except
could just draw this.
that looks like a cannon. Or
No. This is the
Terminator.
trying to think of a good meme. This is the racetrack. Yeah, this is
Race
the racetrack
racetrack.
version. Um, with the rest of the state being almost 2-to-1 red. I mean, that's not even a
Yeah.
threat.
Texas.
But I would absolutely, and I think I've heard positive signs that Nashville is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
they're gonna crack Nashville. I'm just wondering if it's gonna come back to bite them in a few years.
it shouldn't.
Because Nashville's
The area is
trending.
not trending red that radically. What's not going that quickly, and the rural areas around it are very red.
What I'm wondering though is
As long as you
Williamson.
crack it 3 or 4 ways, it shouldn't be fine.
I'm,
It should be fine.
I'm wondering about Williamson if that's going to maybe necessitate like a blue district if what's happening in Williamson.
It shouldn't. You just got to be kind of careful out to the east not to try and use them for anything else, you know?
Okay, Texas.
Texas is extremely hard to predict. They didn't get as many districts as they were going or supposed to get. So everybody kind of had to redraw their maps.
Yeah, and also the funny.
Generally speaking,
Yeah,
no, what?
I was going to say the thing about
No, go ahead.
the Rio Grande Valley Vicente Gonzalez had like the closest race of all of them, but Republicans would be dumb not to draw a Democratic vote sink in Hidalgo County. And who lives in Hidalgo County? Vicente Gonzalez.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to be the
Who
one
doesn't remotely deserve a seat in conference?
but he's going to be the one who
Well,
gets it.
Well, the important thing there is that we start shoring up our gains in the valley, which means getting rid of the fajita strips that are no longer necessary. This
Like,
is not 2010 anymore.
like I think like Republicans want Henry Cuellar to be the Democrat who survives.
He'll be difficult to keep around though, because of course his strongest areas are areas that we want.
Yeah. So I mean, the only way that's impossible is like a an Ohio 9 style stretch from
No, not necessarily. You really kind of just need the existing 8th district to get to trade to become a little redder, and then just turn the fajita strips horizontal. So that you got one, D40 district in the south along the border. You have a marginal seat in the middle that can maybe take in some of Corpus Christi and that kind of eastern area. And then another seat that covers the outer Houston area.
Speaking of Houston, you would be dumb not to give Colonel Red and Lizzie Fletcher safe seats.
Or not Houston. What am I talking? No, it is. Is it Houston?
San Antonio.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Because Austin's in the middle. Yeah, then there's Houston. Yeah, San Antonio. That's what I'm talking about. Houston itself, it's a tricky question because you can get away with getting rid of her. You just got to be really hardcore.
Dude,
and I don't know if they want
her
to be really
district
hardcore.
swung 33 points from 2012 to 2020.
Well, that's why you don't draw that district again. Now, obviously, you can't draw this because it has. I think they're. But you draw. Why is this not contiguous? What was I? Anyway, you can get away with like 2 or 3. This is bad. This is. I don't know what happened to that. I probably badly converted it to 2020. Don't ever do that. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if I've ever seen that
I'd
before.
say vote sink Fletcher and Allred, shore up everybody else.
Yeah, you can get away with 3 Houston Dem or blue sinks, as I have here. You just have to be really hardcore with everything else.
Lloyd Doggett, what do they do with him?
I would draw 2 Austin, San Antonio, or no, there's 3. Maybe 3. This is actually not,
Yeah,
it's
I don't
hardcore, but it's not
I
that
don't think you can
hardcore.
get away anymore with stretching a district from Austin to San Antonio.
Why? The
Uh,
area in between is pretty blue.
really?
What?
Like Hayes is blue enough for that? Oh yeah, it is.
There's no, oh, so this is just bug to all hell. Okay, fair enough. The hard part is gonna be figuring out what you can get away with in Dallas.
Oh yeah, that's. I'd say it's possible to shore up Beth Van Dyne, but Already you want to sink him.
It's something you wanna be careful. The only good thing in Texas is that, some people seem to be getting a grip. So that and Dems way underperformed. They should have, that's great. They should have the state house right now instead of having to flee to DC, you know, to get or to spread COVID and have parties.
Yeah, they only managed to
Um,
get
they should
uh,
have the majority.
a one pro-choice Republican seat, right? There was
Did
like
they
a
gain? Did they gain anything in
Sarah
2020?
Davis, I
I
think
think they lost. I
lost.
think they lost one.
Sarah Davis lost a
They
seat.
lost one and gained one. Wake up, keyboard, please. I need you.
Okay, Utah, you
But I
could
mean, the
like,
result was just pathetic.
yeah.
That one's gonna be difficult. We're gonna run into legal trouble there.
Okay, in Texas or Utah,
Um, in Utah,
can you just like
the
draw
new commission is gonna be difficult to get.
draw like three like
What?
compact districts in the center, and then have one district that wraps around the entire rest of the state?
I mean, you can, but those 3 would be quite vulnerable. You want the rest of the state involved in taking out Salt Lake.
Or just sink Salt Lake into one seat?
But we don't want to give him an extra seat. That's why.
You see, we have different approaches here.
There's no reason to go 3-1 in such a red state.
Like sink it even further and put Summit in with it as well.
No, no, hard, more hardcore. No mercy, you know?
Yeah. Vermont, safe Republican. Virginia, I love what those guys did, what they did with it. I apparently they absolutely loved it.
The Dems are furious.
District 1 is the is red Northern Virginia. You know what I mean? It's basically Northern Virginia. That's basically the most Republican parts of Northern Virginia, stretching down towards the southeast.
Well, didn't I see that map on Joe's
Yeah,
feed? I think I saw the
I don't know.
Virginia map.
District 2, I think, is like Virginia Beach. I think District 3 is Hampton Roads, Democratic portions of Hampton Roads. District 4, I think, is Richmond and Black South Side. Then District 5 is basically shores up Bob Bad, and is basically, I think, South Side is basically South Side, and the white portions of South Side. District 6, it was a beautiful one. It's a Republican one, but it's a communities of interest one. Charlottesville, Roanoke, and Lynchburg are in this seat. As opposed to drawing it in with Southside. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. District 7, I believe. What did they do with District 7? Is that I think that's actually Ben Klein's seat. That would be in the Shenandoah Valley. District 8 is one of the 3 compact districts in Northern Virginia. At least the version that I had to it. My version of this map would have drawn Arlington in with the northern portion of Fairfax for District 8. District 9 is Southwestern Virginia, which means it's safe Democratic. No, it's safe Republican, obviously. District 10 is Eastern is most of Loudoun County in with Fairfax, and then finally District 11 is Prince William County with Southern Fairfax. So I like that map. It's probably the best that we can hope for.
Oh yeah, Dems absolutely screwed themselves by agreeing to that referendum.
Hey, the more commissions, the better, in my opinion. I never really got to ask you what is the map in Colorado going to be? 5-3 or 4-4?
We're not gonna hold any of the. We're gonna get wrecked if we try for 4. It'll be 5-3.
Okay.
With one of the 5 being kind of marginal.
Yeah.
With kind of a north of, or not, kind of a.
The mountains are interesting.
Sort of like the current suburban one that we lost in 2018.
Yeah.
But
the mountains are interesting because it's like these heavily Republican towns surrounded by along with heavily Democratic ski villages.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to draw out Bogner.
Bobert.
If anything, that district's getting redder, even though she's going to underperform hard. I know in the local elections around, we've been doing really badly.
Like in the ski areas, yeah.
Yeah, like losing areas we previously had because we're idiots. So she's having a hard time.
Yeah, Washington.
Should be fine. I don't
7-3.
expect. Yeah.
West Virginia 3-0. Wisconsin, I'd say 6-2.
Yeah, we'll aim for it because we don't need the governor's approval, and the Supreme Court is still ours. So.
Yeah, although it's by 1, so.
Yeah. And,
Ryan Hagedorn is.
Well, it's funny that Dems are like, oh, he's this new reasonable guy, our savior. Remember the things they said about him before he got elected?
Yeah. Well, it's because they were trying to win a race.
Well, no, but they. Well, yeah, but you can't go from saying that to, saying, oh, he's this new reason after calling him a zealot and a bigot, all this other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how you draw a 3rd Democratic district in Wisconsin.
You gerrymander?
Of course. And you know how I feel about gerrymandering.
Heavily in favor, I know.
And Wyoming is safe Democratic.
Of course. No. Safe green.
Safe green. Yeah, safe green. Safe green. Yeah, I've always wondered why Casper and Cheyenne are the way they are.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the congratulations, Redistricting Radar. We did in 2 hours what you took like a dozen episodes to do. So
yeah, but they're slightly better at it than we are.
Yeah. Anyway, we will see you another time, and hopefully you guys at Redistricting Radar are convinced to resurrect the series very soon.